57 Pontiac Chieftain, bought out of a salvage yard in '62. Was wrecked in the front end. Charlie Cummins and a buddy of his bought it, put a front flip on it, and started turning it into a race car. By '64, it was running a full-time race car. And Charlie bought his partner out on it. And Charlie went ahead and campaigned it in what used to be the old AHRA, American Hot Rod Association, drag racing program. And it was
That's what all this is right here?
yes, that's
Okay.
we raced it with 2-barrel, 4-barrel, 3 deuces, different classes. And in '66, '7, '8, '9, and '70, he set world records in the AHRA record book in different classes. Raced around primarily Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska. 1970, he parked it in his garage. Went to working all overseas, oil field working things, and back and forth overseas and stuff. And worked for me part of the time, and over in Saudi Arabia part of the time and things. And then in 2001, I got the car from him, and we didn't restore it. We just reupholstered it, repainted it, took some of the dents out of it where it had stuff stacked on in the garage for 30 years. Did the brakes, tires, pulled the heads, checked the engine, put it back together. We raced it a little bit in nostalgic and Pontiac meets. One year we took third at international nostalgic meet. Down at Arc City we got second one year. It's not an extremely fast car by any means by today's standards. It'll run about a 13.9, about 101 or 102, something like that, which all steel body car like this, running a 1957 347 Pontiac with 1956 4-speed hydromatic in it. So you don't have any stall, because they never made stall converters to those transmissions. So it's kind of tricky to get off the line, but it's a lot of fun. Car was, Charlie had some help on building the car originally, from Ted Detar and Del Blades. I believe Ted Detar built the transmission in it for him originally and set up some of the suspension. Ted Detar, Del Blades did a bunch of the engine work on heads and things for him. Both semi-professional local drag racers also. So it's got a lot of history with it. It's nothing's been changed since it was last raced in 1970, except for just basically say maintenance, brakes, tires, paint, upholstery. It raced in stock class. It wasn't totally stock, but that's how Charlie got the name Chieftain Charlie. It's got a Rambler seat in it, because the Rambler seat weighed like 5 pounds less, Charlie said, something like that. The wheelbase is staggered just a little bit, offset side to side, and staggered front to back, just for a little rollout, a little weight transfer. It's a piece of American history. It's not anything you should find in the drag strip nowadays. Everybody runs a high stall converter, usually a power glide. It's got 4-speed hydro with no stall, just factory, what they called a fluid coupling back then. It's got 57 347 Pontiac in it. Board a little bit oversized. It's got a 66 Pontiac heads on it, intake. Other than that, it's like I said before, it's just a piece of history. It's got a special combination GM and Mopar ignition system on it. It runs retard on the timing when you're cranking, then goes into advance that Charlie built for it.
So as far as repaint, how long ago was that?
Repaint on it was about, let me think, would have been in '07, the year Charlie died. He's got it repainted about 2 weeks before he passed away. Didn't have it lettered, just had it painted. Took it down to Arc City that weekend in the nostalgic drag meet. We got second. And Charlie couldn't go and watch it because he was in physical rehab and knee replacement. Monday, back to the shop, he come into the office. And I showed him the video that one of the guys at work, his daughter, put together on racing that weekend. He watched the video over and over for about 30 minutes or so. Went out to supper that night with his boy and his nephew and had a heart attack and died. So then we got it lettered up that week, so we put it in the funeral next Friday.
Right. A lot of history, huh?
Yep.
They don't make them like these anymore.
Nope.
They don't race them like they used to, but
The Blue Velvet was the name of the piano car. It was sponsored by a Kirby oil company back then. Charlie had worked at Cessna off and on in the sheet metal and mains, and he made the hood scoop for it. He played in some aluminum areas on the front and rear bumpers where he took off excess chrome. It was dead weight. In fact, I think in the back window it's still got one of the old AHRA decals, I believe. Winds friction proofing.
yeah, there was I think it was over here.
Yeah, drag racing, AHRA. That was when they were a competitor to NHRA, which are not in existence anymore.
Right.
And the windows, you notice, are a green tint. That's back in the days before that's still the original tint from in the 60s. That was in the days before they put film on them. You you masked them off, got your rattle can or window tint, sprayed the window, got it runny, let it all run off onto the tape, let it dry, you got a tinted window.
Right. That's a lot of original pieces on this thing, right?
Yep.
All right. This will be on our May 13th classic car auction, Gavel Roads. Lot number 8061.
It belongs in somebody's museum.
That it does. It's impressive to be in this shape for this long.
It's amazing nowadays how many people see this. And, well, what model of Chevrolet is that, you know? Well, it looks a little like a 57 Chevy, but it's a Pontiac. And amazingly, some kids nowadays don't even know what a Pontiac is.
Right. So all more or less, I mean, not a front clips newer metal, but everything else is
Well, the front clip's on the 57, you know, another one that they got out of the side of the yard. The grill's out of a 53 Chevy. It's lighter weight, so this Chevy. He built these aluminum panels.
There's aluminum.
Get rid of the big bumperettes and things that weighed 20 pounds a piece, you know.
So the cheating part came just by he would lighten stuff up.
If they didn't say it was illegal, it was legal, and so like the front wheels are staggered a little bit, the wheelbase is altered like an inch or so.
Yeah.
Just little things that he considered modifications, not cheating.
Right. Gotcha. Right. 1957 Pontiac Chieftain.